Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melone. Hello, everyone. I am Sophia Melonē, the Debt Demolisher, here to bring you the tools, tips, and tricks to help you manage your financial baggage the right way. I am so honored and delighted to be before you all for yet another live stream night as we continue our conversations and our discussions around our readings of The Wealth Choice by Dr. Dennis Kimbro. We have been taking this book 10 pages at a time, not only to honor Dr. Dennis Kimbro, but to also recognize that April is Financial Literacy Month. Let's not forget that. April is Financial Literacy Month, and what other book would be so better for us to cover during this month other than getting our minds all the way together to unlock our way to wealth, to unlock our choice to wealth, to unlock our ideas to wealth, and to unlock our ability to not only feel it, to believe it, to receive it, unlock it, and also to have that faith to back it up. So today we're going to be covering a very, very, very great topic. And we're going over the remaining drivers that we covered in the book. We started the 9 drivers to wealth yesterday. And with the sections of the readings that we had assigned for today, it's closing out the remaining drivers. So we're going to be picking up from driver 6 through driver 9. And then that will close us out for chapter 2 of the book. So I'm going to go ahead and pop out the chat so that way I can see who is in the building. And then that way I can say hello to my people, give everyone greetings and salutations. And then we're going to jump right into this conversation to get our dialogues going and fun. So I have us audio streaming right now via Clubhouse. So we are audio streaming live on Clubhouse as well as via live stream on YouTube. So if you are in the Clubhouse room, I want you to know that there is a link at the top of this room, and it'll take you right over to the Debt Demolisher TV, where that way you can pop in the chat, you can engage with us, you can see my face if you're wondering what I look like, what I sound like, all of that good stuff. Well, you already know what I sound like, but if you want to know what I look like and put the sound to the face, feel free to slide on over and catch one of the videos. And while you are tuning into one of the wealth choice videos that we have, because there is a designated playlist for our discussions around the wealth choice, which is called Legacy Wealth is a Choice. Come on, check it out. Dr. Dennis Kimbro is the name of the playlist. So feel free to go ahead and check that out on the Debt Demolisher TV. And we're going to be continuing adding our videos as we go through our discussions. I will say that in that playlist, I did add a couple of other videos. There was a video that Dr. Dennis Kimbro dropped today. I caught that earlier when he dropped it, and it was really good. And I ended up saving it in our Legacy Wealth is a Choice, Dr. Dennis Kimbro playlist on the channel. So those of you who may not have had an opportunity to see that video release that he released on his page, because he does have a page, and I've been putting it in the description box of each and every one of these videos, and also linking his page in every single one of the morning quotes that's been coming out related to the wealth choice. So I'm tagging his channel so that you guys can be able to check his channel out and subscribe. And so that way you can catch the releases when they come out. But the video was really good. It was a very short snippet, and it was a really great reminder of some of the things that we're covering, and even also showing us what it's going to look like even towards the end. And he even talked about his book, The Wealth Choice. Come on, somebody. So let's go ahead and check out Dr. Dennis Kimbro on his YouTube channel and check out that video. And then that way you can also see it in the playlist that's designated to our readings on this channel. So who do we have in the room? We have Sherry in the building, first in the room, saying, happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday, Sherry. So good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome on into this room. I'm so glad that you are here. And I got to tell you, Sherry, I've been seeing your homework from the Fin Switch Audio weekly lessons that you're doing. Sherry is staying in the work, everybody. Sherry is staying in the work. She's been over here on these live streams. She's been reading. She's been in the with me sessions, and she's still continuing on her weekly work with the Fin Switch audio book. If you don't know what the Fin Switch audio book is, my audio book is available on my website, sophiamelonē.com/products. I think it's like the second option that's up there on my site. But shout out to Sherry for knocking out all of the weekly tidbits and tasks and assignments and leveraging the resource guides to take those additional actions towards the lesson for the week. So shout out to Sherry. Shout out to Sherry. Shout out to Sherry. Coach Harut is in the building all the way from the what? West side. All the way from the west side. Coach Harut shared some amazing resources with me. Well, it was an article. It was an article that she got to her inbox that's totally in alignment with what we're covering and our mindset and thinking about abundance and choosing wealth and all of these things that we've been covering inside of the book. So on point. I was screaming, reading through the article that Coach Harut shared with me. I was like, man, this was so good. I read through it last night. It was so good. It was so good, so good. So in alignment. Then I got another email that I just happened to see because right before I went live, I logged into my inbox and I saw an email from Divinity, and Divinity shared a screenshot, and I'm actually going to pull it up. Maybe I'll pull it up. Let me see. I'm going to pull it up, and she shared the link to the article, and that thing was good. Let me see if I can download it. So I'm going to pull that up because this is really going to go with our conversation. But Divinity shared that, and I was like, woo, woo. We're going to talk about that. So I'm going to pull that up and kind of tie that actually into our conversation today because we're going to cover it. I mean, essentially. It's going to be a good way to recap, so to speak. So I have that up and ready. So when I'm ready to share, we'll be able to go for that. So Divinity, shout out to you for sharing that with me. We've just been seeing alignment all across the board. We've been seeing alignment all across the way. We've been seeing all kinds of things. I woke up this morning and I opened up my YouTube app, and there was like a motivational video around discipline. And reminding yourself about discipline and how important it is to be disciplined, which is the same stuff that Dr. Dennis Kimbrough is talking about here. So because we're fixating our minds on the change that we want to see, because we are now exposing our minds, because we've been reading this book and it's been challenging us and causing us to think differently in our mindset, we're now beginning to see all of the signs and the evidence of the very thing that we need showing up right there in our faces, showing up right there in our inboxes, showing up right there in our phones. I'm telling you, this is powerful, powerful stuff. We got Acacia in the building saying greetings, DDTV kings and queens. Yes, Acacia, kings and queens. Go Acacia, hey Acacia, go Acacia. Hey, Acacia, let's go, 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 let's go. Hey, Acacia, go Acacia. Hey, Acacia, go Acacia. Let's go. So glad that you are in the building today, Acacia. Let's go. Nakosha is also in the building saying, hey, family. Hey, Nakosha. So good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome on into this room. I'm so glad that you are here. Let's go all the way. We got Lisa Smiles in the building saying, hey, DDTV family, I'm still at work, but I'm listening. Amen. Amen. You are not alone, Lisa Smiles. You are not alone, Lisa Smiles. But thank you so much for being here and listening in. All right. We got Paige in the building saying, hey, everyone. Hey, Paige. So good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome on into this room. I'm so glad that you are here. Tracy Ann is in the building all the way from the what? West side. Y'all still see Tracy Ann still throwing up gang signs. Tracy Ann still throwing up signs through the emojis. Shout out to Tracy Ann all the way from the West Side. She's saying, hello, ladies, and happy Monday. And that just reminded me to rub some more of this good old glow butter, this good old nutmeg on these hands that I just watched. Shout out to Lisa Smiles, Styles by LisaSmiles.com. Lisa Smiles is laughing at Tracy. Coach Root said, let's go West Side, Tracy Ann. Yes, y'all representing for the West Side. Coach Root and Tracy Ann. Lisa Smiles says, good job to Sherry. Tracy Ann says that discipline video was powerful. Yes, it was. Acacia says, okay, Q Scott, project 2 and go mode. Hold on, what I missed? Q Scott got a second project? I straight missed this. It jumped all the way down. I got the notification and commented on your post, Coach Sophia. Okay, yes. Let's go. 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 Q Scott says, just wrapped up a call for project number 2, and I hope to be doing a testimony very soon. God is good. Yes, he is all the time. He is so good. Let's go. Q Scott knocking out the projects. She just closed out project number 1, jumped right into project number 2, and she is what? In action, which is what we're going to be talking about today. So let's stay tuned for that. Sherry got the praise hands. Coach Ruth saying, great job, Sherry. Q Scott says, you go, Sherry. Acacia says, great job, Sherry. Paige says, clap it up for Sherry. Let's go. Sherry is congratulating or thanking everyone. And Acacia is congratulating Q Scott for getting in go mode for her project number 2. And so is Lisa Smiles saying, come on, Q Scott, let's go. All right, y'all. Okie dokie. I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Thanks, Acacia. I made the call to get some info and God took the wheel. What Q Scott said. I just made a call to get some information and God took the wheel on that thing this afternoon and got all kinds of information on how to move forward. It scared me a bit. Telling you, remember, we serve a what? A suddenly God. We don't know how he's going to show up, how fast he's going to show up, but when he do, he going to answer them prayers and it's going to bring you down to your knees. It's going to shock you. It's going to scare you. It may have you crying. Whew. I serve a suddenly God. I serve a suddenly God. Whew. Coach Root says, I'm here for all the knowledge via text, emails, videos, in the algorithm. Okay. I love it. I love it. Coach Root says, great job to Q Scott. Y'all laughing it up. I need some of that glow butter. How do I get it? Come on, Nakosha. Lisa Smiles. Lisa Smiles. Come on, let's drop that link. Drop that link, Lisa Smiles. Nakosha would like to get some of that glow butter. Nakosha, I'm going to tell you right now, Caribbean Escape is sold out, but it's in the making. Lisa Smiles got the re-up. She got the re-up because her the Caribbean scent ended up selling out, but I have nutmeg. She still has nutmeg on the site. But yes, drop the link, y'all. Drop the link. It's good old glow butter. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Look, Acacia says, Nakosha, get you some because it sell out quick. Yes. Glow butter be gone. Glow butter be gone. Yes, Nakosha, follow Lisa Smiles. Yes, yes, yes. Let's subscribe to Lisa Smiles channel if you have not done so. Lisa Smiles, the last time I checked, I think you were at 110 away from your goal to get your community page. So I saw that number increasing again. I think I saw it last night. It's at 390 or something like that. So yes, come on, everybody. Let's support Lisa Smiles. Get her subscriber count up as well. And then while you're at it, you can get all the gems about your hair and get your good old natural hair, natural skincare products, stuff for your scalp, all that good stuff. We have fun on Lisa Smiles channel. Let's go. All right. So let's jump into our conversation on tonight. So we're going over the remaining drivers. So yesterday we covered drivers 1 through 5, and now we're going to jump into going into the conversation further about driver number 6, which is starting on page 101. Now, this one is very sensitive to me because we've been talking a lot about time lately. We've been talking a lot about it. We've been really, at least for me, I've been sharing some of my challenges that I've been having around that and feeling like time just goes by so fast, feeling like I don't have enough time to do things, or just feeling like things just go by so quickly. And I'm not able to estimate very, very more accurately how long it's taking me to do a project or get a thing done. So I'm sensitive about this time thing. So this was good. But on page 101, Dr. Dennis Kimbrough talks about Edward Banfield, who was a Harvard University student, and he came up with this study, I guess the study that he did, which allowed him to come up with a variable that he really felt like is the single attribute that causes prosperity. And that is the person being or having a time perspective. And what that means is time perspective is the amount of time that an individual takes into consideration when planning his or her day-to-day activities or rendering important decisions. Y'all know I just talked about this, how I felt like I dropped the ball on a certain thing, how I felt like time went by and it ended up costing me more money, how I feel like that whole decision where I was like, okay, I just need to do it instead of wallowing about where I am. I need to focus on what I need to do. And what I need to do was to get the invoice and pay the invoice so that what needs to be done can be done and that can be settled, which is planned to be taken care of this week. And it's all about looking at how you view time, because sometimes we can view time from a space of avoidance. I don't know why I was putting the stuff off. I mean, I think I know, but I don't feel like it was a rational enough decision for me to prolong it in that way, which was why I was trying to figure out what was the real underlying reason why I was putting off this transaction, why I was putting off this transaction. So time perspective is the amount of time an individual takes into consideration when planning his or her day-to-day activities or rendering important decisions. So I talked about now, because this important decision that I dropped the ball on, but now I had to come back later on and really take some action on. I want to make sure that I'm incorporating this driver to really be clear on identifying what's going to be my process to take better time or more time into consideration, if that's making sense. The amount of time it'll take me to make a decision, the amount of time it'll take me to plan out my activities, the amount of time it'll take me to do X, Y, and Z. He says that Banfield rationalized that the longer you could project yourself into the future, the greater your chances will be. Prior to that, he says the time perspective refers to the planning process, either short or long term, an individual utilizes when pursuing current or future goals or objectives. He says the millionaires, and Dr. Dennis Kimbrough says that the millionaires in his study utilize a long time approach, meaning in it for the long haul, thinking about the future and not just the now. With regard to saving 15 to 20% of their income, participating in retirement plans, 401ks, 403bs, and individual retirement accounts, which is IRAs, and investing in the stock market, either mutual funds or through money markets, the survey respondents basically stood in agreement around thinking about their future when they were making decisions around how to allocate and save or place their money so that it can be able to work for them in the future, so that they can be available for them in the future. Long perspective. Dr. Dennis Kimbro says that millions of individuals who find themselves down and out constantly bemoan the loss of the golden opportunities they allowed to slip through their hands. The weekends, the evenings, the downtime that they idled away when they could have been laying the foundation for a productive financial future. So I circled this area for me because I really want to see how I can identify where any sign of idle time could be getting by, but not confusing the idle time with the need for rest. Because one of the things that I realized today as well is that rest is something that we need. Rest is something that we need regardless of what we do or how we navigate in life. Everybody needs rest. And I understand the grind. I understand you want to rise up early, you want to go to bed late. But I do believe that there needs to be a space for you to be able to refuel. So when I was thinking today about where is any possible sign of idle time that I know that I could either be using to rest or that I know that I could be using to be more productive or catch up on things that may be still outstanding that I wanted to get done a long time ago, creating a better plan and a better schedule for my day, because right now I don't think it's the healthiest, and I have to learn to prioritize what's important to me. And I have to create a discipline around that, which was like the video that I shared on the community page about discipline. Because we don't want to put ourselves in a situation where we are forced to do what we know that we should have been doing, as opposed to allowing ourselves to have control over our mind, our body, our movement, and make a conscious decision to do what you know you should be doing for yourself instead of being forced to. Excuse me. The morning quote came from page 102, which was, "Time is more than money. Time is your greatest opportunity." Time is your greatest opportunity. Time is your greatest opportunity. Dr. Dennis Kimbro says, when asked, which would you rather possess, more time or more money? And 2/3 of these millionaires said more time. 2/3 of these millionaires said more time. And honestly and truthfully, that's something that I often find myself saying, I wish I had more time. I wish there was more time. I wish there was more time. But to be honest, we all have the equal same amount of time within a day. It's just all about how we choose to operate the time within that day. How intentional are you going to be about your time? This goes back to what we talked about yesterday when I brought up the management aspect, that I have to learn how to manage myself, management of self, management of time, management of finances and financial resources, management of people, management of ideas, management of skill. Time is one of those elements. And the same hours in a day that I have is the same hours in a day that Dr. Dennis Kimbro has. The same hours in a day that I have or you have is the same hours in a day that, who's one of these millionaires that they talked about in here? That what's the lady name? I just saw it. Valerie Daniels Carter has. Same one. All right. Yes. Acacia dropped the link to the glow butter for Lisa Smiles. Y'all make sure y'all go grab it. Go check it out. Go check it out. Shout out to Acacia dropping the link in the chat for Lisa Smiles. Let's go. Let's go. Tracy Ann says, Modernaire extraordinaire. Acacia is working both pages at once. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to Acacia. Let's go. Because that's what we do. We family up in here. That's what we do. Come on. We got to support one another. Amen. Amen. I don't know what is going on with my throat. Hold on, you guys. Oh, okay. I forgot to turn off the mic on Clubhouse, so they just heard me coughing, but oh well. They heard me coughing. So this was a question that I want to ask you, because when I read it, I circled it and I wrote in the margins, ouch. The question for each of us to decide is not what we would do if we had the means, in other words, the resources, in other words, the knowledge, in other words, the ability, in other words, the opportunity. The question, on the other hand, is what will we do with the time that we've been given? What will we do with the time that we've been given? What will we do with that time? This reminds me of the live stream that Lisa Smiles did on Vet Your Time. She did a live stream on Vet Your Time. I can't remember when. I think it was like sometime in December, maybe, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But she did a really good live stream about vetting your time. And when I read this piece, it reminded me of the conversation in the live stream that Lisa Smiles did around this conversation around the time and how we spend our time. What are we doing with our time? Being mindful of that. I said, ouch. What will we do with the time that we've been given? Forget the resources. Forget the opportunity. Forget the ability. What about what's already in your hands? What about what's already in your hands? Driver number 7 is relationships. Along the way, friends, family, and mentors have taught, what's this person's name? Lillian Lambert, that she needed the support of others in order to succeed. We can't do it by ourselves. We need support. We need community. We need the space. We need the space. That's what we do. We support one another. Just like Acacia, just drop the link to Lisa Smiles' Glow Butter. Y'all go get you a Glow Butter. Please get you a Glow Butter. Get you one. Get you 2. Get you 3. Get you 4. Get you a Glow Butter. Because we know that support is needed. We can't do this thing by ourselves. We can't do it by ourselves. Get you a network. Get you a community. This was a powerful piece that I circled as well, which kind of struck a nerve for me, because I told y'all that I have challenges with asking for help or asking for anything, because I can take care of myself. I can hold my own. I don't want to be a burden to anybody else, so I'm not going to ask anybody. I don't want to be an inconvenience the way that people make me feel inconvenienced when they asking me for stuff. Right here it says, asking for help was not a sign of weakness. but instead it's a sign of strength and wisdom. It's a sign of strength and wisdom. Continue on the story about Lambert. Lambert launched her business in the DMV area, might I add, because she's from Landover, Maryland. I never even heard of her name. I may have to look her up, but they said she sold the company, but I'm still going to Google her so that way I can find out who she is, where she is. She may still be in the area. I don't know. I may be able to reach out to her. Who knows? But she built a maintenance empire, a building maintenance empire. And she started this business on a shoestring budget. She had $4,000 in her savings, and she had a line of credit of $12,000. And I want to share this before we go into this, because I know there may be some folks who want to get into business. You may be early on in your business. You may be just starting your business. You may be in the realm of starting your business within the next 6 years, not the next 6 years, next 6 months, the next year, something along those lines. I want to strongly encourage anyone who wants to formally get into business, really establish that working capital up front. So as I read this piece, and Dr. Dennis Kimbrough talked about Lambert having savings of $4,000 to start her business. Essentially, that was her business's startup working capital. That's essentially all it was. And one of the things that I find, even with a lot of people, and I can just even be transparent, even with me, is we don't think about the full cost, startup cost that it's going to take to get our operations going, with the expectation of how can this still be funded in the event revenues aren't coming in the manner that I thought it was going to come in based on what's in my business plan or based on what was inside of my sales projections. So knowing what it's going to cost you, at least for the first 3 years, website, marketing, filing requirements, office space, or maybe even having a virtual office so that you can have a business address, software services, equipment, lights, whatever your business is, phone setup, privacy settings, just different things that you may need that's going to cost you a lot of money. It may not even seem like a lot of money up front, but you'll be like, okay, I can just fund it myself. But why not get an idea of what that cost could be? And then before you even formally launch, have your startup capital already set up. So that way, once you open the business, you formalize the business, you open up your business account, and you as the business owner can make a one-time owner investment into your company that's going to serve as your working capital. And that working capital is what you will then budget from so that you can use that to really keep the operations going, or keep the operations or the operating expenses paid while you're also actively working to get revenues inside of the door. Without just jumping the gun and going straight to let me borrow, or let me leverage credit, or let me open up an account. Because that money is still going to have to come from somewhere, even if you have business debt. It still has to be paid. And how are you going to pay the minimums if you don't have a working capital fund that's inside of your business account, or something that's available to pay the cash to pay on the debts that you've had to charge in order to keep the maintenance going, in order to keep the operations going? If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. That's one of the things I always encourage folks to do. Before you start, really scrub and identify how much it's going to cost to run this thing for 3 years if you don't make no money from it. Hypothetically, not saying that that's what we're aiming for. Not saying that that's what we're aiming for, but you always want to err on the side of caution. And if you know this before you even jump into the space of like starting stuff, spending money, doing this and doing that and doing that, having a working capital fund is going to help you stay within budget so that you can really be strategic around the financial decisions that you're making inside of your business. So it's hard to budget if you don't have any cash to budget. It's hard to budget an account if there is no cash in it. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I right or am I wrong? Okay. Next piece. Most successful people who are wealthy credit a large part of their success to their ability to cultivate and sustain meaningful and prosperous relationships. In other words, Black millionaires network. Black millionaires network. What environments are you putting yourself into so that you can network? What virtual conferences are you signing up for so that you can network? What in-person events are you signing up for or purchasing a ticket for? Or maybe even finding a free event that you don't even have to pay a ticket price to get in, but going there to network. One of the powerful things that I read as well was that on 104, Dr. Dennis Kimbrough says that they organize their schedules and daily routines in order to place themselves within the sphere of influence. Within the sphere of influence. So you have to design your days. You have to organize your schedules. You have to make it a part of your routine to get in front of the influence that you know that not only you need, but the influence that you know that's going to help you get to the goal that you know that you want to reach. I starred that part. And then following that, once connected, they immediately begin to form new positive reference groups. They place into action a plan to develop as many good, high quality, and natural or mutually beneficial relationships as possible with the shortest amount of time. Mutually beneficial. Mutually beneficial. I remember when I was in the program, and I've talked about it before, so I'm sure that you've heard me talk about it, but Purpose to Platform, which is like a business coaching program that is done by Patrice Washington. And she had us do an exercise, and I'm trying to find it. Where is it? Of course, I can't find it right now. But we did an exercise. Let me see if I can find it. But I remember writing mine saying that basically I enter into agreements that are mutually beneficial. I enter into agreements that are mutually beneficial, not one-sided. So even that thought is how we have to think of things, because sometimes out of the spirit of excitement, we can just be so excited about a thing that it's not mutually benefiting. It's not mutually beneficial. So I had to begin to tell myself the types of agreements that I wanted, the types of agreements that I wanted to be engaged in, so that if it's not in alignment, don't even come my way. Mutually beneficial. Not just beneficial for you, and then the lower the totem pole for me. No benefit for me. No guaranteed benefit for me. You're getting your guaranteed benefit, So how can you ensure that we're both benefiting in the same manner? In the same manner. I don't have time to look for it, but I know I wrote it. But essentially, that's what I was saying. I enter into agreements that are mutually beneficial. This was powerful. I don't know if anybody caught this. I don't know if anybody caught this. It's not what you know. It's not what you know about. No, it's not just about what you know or who you know. It's about what you know about who you know. It's about what you know. It's about what you know about who you know. It's about what you know about who you know. Because you can know somebody, but you may not know anything about them. Meaning, what is their, like, what is the value that they would even have? What is the value that they would even have that you could even be a reference point to? Because if you don't know something about somebody, how can you even know to go and seek them out? How can you even know to go and seek them out? Lillian Lambert shared her 4 keys to success. Her 4 keys to success was to plan your work, but remain flexible. You got to plan your work and remain flexible. Push yourself outside of your comfort zone. We got to take risks. It says that you won't achieve anything by staying in a box. You won't achieve anything by staying in a box. Never underestimate your skills or your strengths or how much you can accomplish or achieve. Never underestimate your ability. Don't worry about distance. Only concentrate on the direction. I wrote in the margins, wow. Wow. Can I share something real quick? Just gonna be transparent. Today, I took action. Today, I took action on something. And this is something that I've had a desire. It's something that's up on my brain dump wall. It's something that's on my goal board. It's something that's in my life vision. And I realized that I haven't been prioritizing it as much as I believe that I should, if this is something that I really want. I'm getting convicted with this book. I'm getting convicted in all kinds of ways. So today, earlier today, I ended up checking my email, and I got an email that basically said, for a limited time, in honor of whatever they're celebrating for this particular organization, we're giving those who need to basically pay for their exam fees, giving them a discount. And when I tell you all, I literally opened my email 6 minutes after that email came into my inbox. And something told me to click on it. So I clicked on it and I opened it. And then when I opened it, I saw that message. And I said, wow, if this is what I want, I need to go ahead and schedule. I need to go ahead and pay the exam fee so that I can put action in place on what it is that I say that I want. So not only did I take an action on this particular thing, pay my exam fee, I also saved some coins. I also was able to get it much cheaper within 6 minutes of it being announced, and also it only being limited to the first 30 people. And when I paid the exam fee, I went back into my curriculum and I started to look at the study guide, the study plan that I created for myself. And then I compared that to the study guide that they had in terms of what they recommended you should study for these particular areas by whatever week. And as I was going through, looking through and scrolling through all the modules, I was like, man, this is a lot. I was like, man, I'm gonna have a long way to go. And then what did I remember? Don't worry about the distance. Only concentrate on the direction. Only concentrate on the direction. So I can't worry about however many modules is down the line, however many modules I have to do. I got to focus on the direction of what's next. I have to focus on the direction of what's next. So that blessed me because I wrote wow in the margins. The third one she says is surround yourself with like-minded individuals who share your passion, beliefs, and desires. Build a team who shares your commitment and who will complement your skill set. Who will complement your skill set. Your net worth will be reflected by your net work. Ooh. Your net worth will be reflected by your net work. And then last but not least, she has number 4, stay positive. Look on the bright side. And this reminds me of Coach Harut. Transforming your life begins by transforming your mindset. This reminds me of Coach Harut because she's a transformation coach. Mindset transformation coach. Networking is the key to your financial success. Talks about knowing your work, your life work, what you're destined to do, what you're called to do. And also talks about goal setting and the purpose of goals and why it's so important on page 106. Nearly 95% of the respondents that Dr. Dennis Kimbrough interviewed said that they live by clearly defined goals. What are your goals? What are your goals? Are they clearly defined? Do you know without a shadow of a doubt what you want? What you want next for your life? What you want for your future? And most importantly, once you have a clear defined goal, what are the action steps that's necessary in order to get there? Don't think about the distance. Focus on the direction. Says that the wealthy are consumed by their goals and their dreams, regardless of day or time. He closes out by saying what one of the millionaires said, how you think is who you become. How you think is who you become. Let's close out with driver number 9. Let's close out with driver number 9. This was the powerful one around faith and spirituality, praise or practice. Which one you gonna do? He talks about how oftentimes people misconstrue having money with allowing them to have happiness. And we should all know that money doesn't necessarily allow us to be happy. It doesn't bring us happiness. Granted, it allows us to maybe have certain experiences, but money in and of itself does not make us happy. It cannot make us happy. For Christ's sake, it's just a piece of paper. For Christ's sake, it's just a number. So what can really make you happy? No amount of money will make them happy. if you have not developed your spiritual wealth. So there's levels to wealth, not just money. Faith and spirituality is one of them. Faith serves as their bedrock, their root system that has allowed them to bend and grow with the winds of change without breaking, no matter the challenge or circumstance. No matter the challenge or circumstance. Honestly and truthfully, you all, this is what I want my greatest strength to be. I want my greatest wealth to be in my faith. And my word for the year, I don't know if I shared this with you all, but my word for the year was faith. My word for the year was faith, which was why a lot of my life vision, my goals, the things that I created, that I came up with, all tied around faith. And I said, how can I improve my faith? Dates with God. Dates with God came in my mind. So I've been doing dates with God since the beginning of this year. Also, pray and praise showers is what I call them. How can I get connected? How can I build my spiritual practice, build my faith? Because 2021 was so hard. 2021, it was my breaking point. And I knew I needed faith and I needed a change in my mindset. Once I was able to come out of that mess that was happening in my life at the time. So my desire for this year is building that to be rock solid. Building my faith to sustain me through it all, no matter how hard it gets. Faith provides spiritual wealth. And spiritual wealth lies completely in our own hands because we get to choose. We get to choose whether or not we're going to believe God and we're going to believe his word and we're going to trust in that and use our trust and belief to override any of the negative thoughts that try to talk us out of the very thing that we know that we should be doing. That can talk us out of giving up. That can talk us out of getting out of character. I wrote in the margins after reading this section that no one can take your faith away. No one can take your faith away from you unless you let it go. No one can take your faith away from you unless you decide to let it go. When I was going through my challenges in 2021, I told y'all I was at my wit's end. I told the Lord, I said, Lord, I'm tired. I said, I'm tired. I said, I don't want to do this no more. I said, Lord, it's going to have to be her or me. You're going to have to take one of us out because I can't do this no more. I was at my wit's end. My wit's end, mentally, emotionally. And the conversation with my father that stuck with me. And when he said, he said, no matter what, don't lose hope. Because the minute you lose hope, that is when God is going to take you up. And hope is what equivalent to faith. Hope is what equivalent to a belief. Hope is what equivalent to a trusting and a knowing that despite of You're choosing optimism over pessimism. He says that the type of faith that seems to make a difference in the pursuit of financial success is that which provides inner strength on a consistent basis. That means nurturing the belief system regularly, usually on a daily basis, through prayer and meditation. Through prayer and meditation. Page 108 is what where I'm reading from. Page 108. Okay, can't take it away or sway it all. Okay, Q Scott. Congrats on saving some coins. Thank you, Q Scott. I appreciate it. Acacia says, discount anointing. Look at God. Yes, Acacia. Yes, discount anointing. Look at God. Come on. Paige says, right. Q Scott says, yep, you can't. Yep, can't use what you don't have. Yep. Nakusha says, definitely right. And Acacia says, if you're getting value from this live stream and would like to donate, add one of these to your cart and support the channel. Thank you so much, Acacia. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Coach Root says, I am back at full attention. Acacia says, I feel like that sometimes. Amen. And yes. So 108, we're closing out. We're at new rules of money, new rules of money. This is a subtitle. So if you have the audiobook, new rules of money, and then we're going to close out with chapter 2. He says, everything that I have learned over the course of this research suggests that financial success follows a predictable course. It's not the best and brightest who attract great wealth. If it were so, our colleges and universities would be stacked with Oprah Winfrey's and Bob Johnson's of the world. Nor is millionaireship simply the sum of our creativity and the efforts we make on our own behalf. Truth be told, the ability to attract abundance and prosperity is a gift. The ability to attract abundance and prosperity is a gift. The haves are those who've been given opportunities and who have had the strength and presence of mind to seize them. The lesson here is simple, but often overlooked. Let's hear Dr. Dennis Kimbrough out. The most common quality that the wealthy share is their propensity to act. They're intensely action-oriented. When opportunity knocks, they not only take the initiative, they take charge. When the opportunity knocks, not only do they take the initiative, they take charge. Unfazed by the notion that every individual with an idea is a minority of one, millionaires plan their work and work their plans regardless. I got convicted. Millionaires work their plan. They plan their work and they work their plan. They plan their work and they work their plan. And this reminds me of why Tony Gaskins always say, plan your days the night before, or plan today for your tomorrow, or something like that. He says, give your days direction is what Tony Gaskins says a lot. Giving your days direction is none other than a plan. Creating a plan for your day, creating a plan for your work, creating a plan for your responsibilities, and then working that plan, honoring that plan. Here's the Bible verse that he says that everyone should be clutching their hearts and their pearls and their minds to. Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Because we got to remember, it's not done by our own strength. It is not done by our own strength. We got to remember who implanted that strength and that ability within us to allow it to happen. We can't take credit for everything. I don't be taking credit for nothing. God gave me that. It's all the Lord. I can't take no credit. He says, yes, it's true. All things are possible for him that believeth, but your goals and financial objectives will never see the light of day until you put your faith into action. And what is driver number 9? The have-nots just praise, but the haves, they practice. They practice their faith. They go into action. They put in the work. He also says that Charles Darwin observed this when he said, it's not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the most that's responsive to change. So let's ask ourselves the question, how do we react? How do we adjust? How do we respond to the changes that occur in our life? Because here's what I know for sure. Everything in our life is going to change. Nothing is ever going to be the same from today to the future. We're constantly evolving. We live in an evolving world. So we should be striving to evolve in everything that we do. And with that, we should expect change. We should expect change, not just in society, but expecting change from people. Because everybody ain't going to be the same. I remember when I used to hear people say back in the day, oh, don't ever change, or, keep staying the way that you are, don't ever change. We have to be careful with that conversation, because not changing is keeping us stuck. Not changing is keeping us stuck, especially if we were the way that we were in environments that wasn't mutually beneficial. So you got to expect change out of life. You got to expect change in your finances. You got to expect change in your family relationships. You got to expect change in your work environment. You got to expect change in your children. You got to expect change in your friendships. Because we evolve. We evolve. And if anyone was to tell me today, don't ever change, that's not possible for me. Because I serve an abundant God, and I don't know what he's going to call me to next. And whatever he calls me to next, where I am now is not going to suffice. How I am now is not going to suffice. So we got to be ready for the next level. Next level is evolution. Next level means change. Am I right or am I wrong? I said, am I right or am I wrong? So how do you respond to change? How do you respond to change? He says, in other words, it's not so much what you do with your hands as it is to what you do with your mind that counts. What are you doing with your mind? How are you evolving your mind? How are you evolving your thinking? How are you evolving your actions? Because the level that you're headed to is going to require a whole nother season of grit. It's going to require a whole nother version of you. And this is why I just made this connection. This is why millionaires are always wanting to learn, because change is inevitable. Change is inevitable. So you can't think based on what you learned 15 years ago, it's still going to be the same thing today. We can already see the transformation that's happening. Who knows what's going to happen with digital currency and how far it's going to stretch, how far it's going to go. Before it was untapped. Before it was under the radar. Now it's getting more exposure. Now we're moving into making transactions digitally. Like, really? Have y'all ever listened to NFT interviews? Have y'all ever just thought about how the NFT process works? Millionaires got NFTs. So if we want to be a millionaire, we got to act like one. And in order for us to act like one, we got to put ourselves in the environments and the spaces of where they play. And even if you can't get in the room yet, you could obtain the knowledge before you actually get into the room. Because when you obtain the knowledge, you never know who you may meet that may invite you to the table. You never know how God going to move with the connections that you're going to come across. Prime example, Q Scott just talked about it today. She made a phone call as a result of staying in action, going towards her next project, doing her research, trying to figure out, asking questions. And what happened? God blew her mind. God probably planted a connection, planted a resource that's going to be able to possibly carry her all the way into the ending of her project and then some. We don't know. We got to be willing to put ourselves in those spaces, ask the questions, pick up the phone, do the research, hear the interviews, hear the teachers, so that we can get in front of our opportunity unknowingly. You got to be ready. You got to be ready. Millionaire lesson number 3 is that the poor keep score by their cars and clothes. The middle class keeps scores by their degrees and titles. But the wealthy keep score by their bank account. The wealthy keep score by their bank account. And I'm going to add by their digital wallets. By their digital wallets. So that brings us to the closing of chapter 2. Y'all make sure, if you don't already, pick up Dr. Dennis Kimbrough's Wealth Choice book. It's available anywhere books are sold. You can get the audio book. Some of us have the audio book. Some of us have the paperback. Some of us said that the hardcover was like $100 and something. I think somebody said. I said, whoa. I know I got this for like $14, or I think I'm probably got this at $14 or $13 when I bought this book. Softback. But get this book. And if you already have it, you may want to consider getting it for somebody else. Getting it for somebody who won't read it. Remember, I was telling you guys about the gentleman, Kevin, that I would see when I would go to my office building, or, walking to work, getting off the bus, walking to my office building, and we would talk, and I would get him breakfast, or I'd bring him lunch and all of that. And I was randomly, the Lord was just like, I had put a random Facebook post. I don't ask for nothing, y'all. This was years ago. I put out a Facebook post that said, like, if there was anything that I have ever done to help you, encourage you, inspire you, or something, just send me $1, like via Cash App. And I'm not even gonna lie, it bothered me because I was like, what? Like, why am I doing this? But I was surprised at how many people were Cash Apping me throughout the day when I did this post. And people were Cash Apping me more than $1. They were sending me $5, $20, $10, $2, $7. And I was surprised. And I was like, Lord, what you want me to do with this money? What you want me to do with this money? I was confused. And I didn't do anything until I heard God tell me what to do with it. So it was around Christmas time, and I was getting off the bus, walking down the hill, and I saw Kevin from a distance. And I heard, give it to Kevin. And I got so excited. I was like, oh, yes, I can give it to Kevin. I can give it to Kevin. So I'm all excited. And so I get down the hill, and I'm talking to Kevin. I was like, hey, Kevin. And I was like, I said, are you going to be here tomorrow? Because of course I didn't have like anything with me, because I didn't know that the Lord was going to tell me what to do with the money. So it was still in the Cash App account. And so I was like, are you going to be out here tomorrow? He was like, yeah, I'm going to be out tomorrow. I was like, okay. I said, well, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. So I didn't tell him that I was going to bring him something or anything, so I just had asked him if he was going to be out here the next day. So when I was walking, I was like, well, Lord, I said, it's Christmas time. I want to get him a present. Like, I want to, be able to get him something that goes with the money. And then I heard, get him a book. He likes to read. So guess what book I bought him? Guess what book I bought him for Christmas? The Wealth Choice. The Wealth Choice. I bought the Wealth Choice for him. I have Amazon, so it came the next day. I'm a Prime member. It came the next day. So by the time, actually it was the same day. It came the same day. So I got it. I packaged it. I had like all of the little gift bag and all of that kind of stuff. I had all of that together. And then I had the card. I took all of the money out. I wrote everybody's name in the card who donated, because I told Kevin that the money was really from them. The money wasn't from me. It was from them. And I took the 10th. I told y'all I took a 10th of it, tithed on Kevin's behalf, and I gave him the rest. And I gave him the card. I gave him the present first. I was like, I got something for you. Merry Christmas. I gave him the gift bag. And then I pulled out the card and I gave it to him. I talked about the story, so I ain't about to say it again, but y'all know what happened. But I gave him the Wealth Choice. Now, I don't know if he read it. It's been a long time. Pandemic that happened, so I hadn't seen him in years. So prayerfully, Kevin is all right. Prayerfully, Kevin is all right. But give in a way that's going to support a person, that they'll be able to not just use it, but actually like put it to use, if that makes sense. So if a person isn't a reader, you may not want to buy this book for them. You may not want to buy any book for them because they ain't going to pick it up. But if someone is a reader, or they're encouraged by reading, then why not gift them with the Wealth Choice? Because this is a phenomenal book. You guys, we are on 110 pages inside of the Wealth Choice. We're not even halfway through. But taking this book 10 pages at a time, I'm having all types of unlocking. Oh, before we go, I got to share what Divinity sent. Sorry, y'all. Let me share what Divinity sent. She shared this screenshot, and this is going to be the perfect way to close out, because we were talking about habits. We were talking about millionaire status. Coach Haru even brought up billionaire status. Listen, next level. And we got to be able to unlock our formula to wealth. And the way we unlock our formula to wealth is by making sure that we're checking our habits, making sure that we are controlling our mind in a way that's going to allow us to be the best versions of ourselves to be the wealth creators that we know that we are, or that we were designed to be, or that we are designed to be. So let me share this screenshot that Divinity sent me today. It was a tweet by Entrepreneur Magazine. Let me know if you can see it good. You should be able to see it good. But this says 20 habits holding you back from millionaire status. 20 habits holding you back from millionaire status. Number 1, sleeping in. What does Dr. Dennis Kimbrough say? Millionaires get up early and they go to bed late. They rise by 5:30 and they retire by 11:30 p.m. Sleeping in is holding us back from our millionaire status. Number 2, neglecting your health. This convicted me. This convicted me on so many levels, because you all know that I can work my tail off and I will not eat lunch. I will not take a lunch break. I will work and work and work and work and work, and that is not healthy. When I don't eat, when I don't nourish my body, I'm neglecting my health. When I choose not to get up and stretch and exercise, I'm neglecting my health. That's holding me back by not prioritizing this vessel, because without this vessel, I can't deliver my purpose to y'all either way. So if I still want to be able to be here, if I still want to be able to operate in my purpose, if I still want to be able to be a vessel to share, speak on financial literacy, empower somebody, encourage somebody, inspire somebody, then I got to have a healthy vessel in order to do so. I got to have a healthy vessel in order to do so. And if I'm not taking care of my health, it's holding me back. It's holding me back. Number 3, not reading. What are we learning in here? The millionaires read. They read constantly. Constantly. How many times do we see that people are watching entertainment? They're watching TV. They're watching shows instead of picking up a book. They're watching social media instead of picking up a book. Not reading, not wanting to read. I shared this in one of my videos. When I got out of graduate school, I was done with reading. I said, I done read too much to write all of these papers. When I was done with graduate school, I said, I'm done with reading. I did not want to read for my leisure until 2017, when I got exposed to millionaires and I saw that that's what they do. They read. And any book recommendation they gave me, I started buying them. And that's why my library is the size that it is now. And it's still growing. Now I got the books. I just got to make the time to read them. It's one thing to get the book. That's one small step. It's another thing to read the book. That's another small step. And it's a whole nother thing to apply the lessons within the book. That's the ultimate step. Relying on income. We all know you can't put all your eggs in one basket. If you're only relying on one income, you are putting your millionaire status at risk. You are putting your millionaire status at risk. No budget. We talk about this on the channel all the time. You got a budget. We just did a budget with me live stream on Saturday. Millionaires budget. So if you're not budgeting, you're holding yourself back from your millionaire status or your billionaire status. Shout out to Coach Root. Number 6, spending carelessly. Not being mindful of how you're spending. Spending out of impulse. Spending because you feel like you got it right now. Spending to feel better about yourself. Spending to make it seem like you got it. Spending out of ego, carelessly, recklessly, with no purpose. Wasteful purchases. Say that in my spending assessment tool. Number 7, in the wrong crowd. In the wrong crowd. 8, drinking and gambling. 9, too much TV. And we're going to add too much social media, holding us back from our millionaire status. Having no mentor. Having no mentor. Who do you have in your corner? It goes back to this. We were just talking about having a network, having relationships, building relationships, someone who can help guide you, someone who can expose you to something that you might not have ever even thought of. 11, staying in our comfort zone. What did Dr. Dennis Kimbrough say? That the middle class, or did he say the middle class? Yeah, the middle class are more concerned with being comfortable. The low class focuses on survival. The middle class are comfortable. So we got to get out of our comfort zone if we want to be able to stretch and we want to be able to get our millionaire status. Not asking questions. Not asking questions. We got to be willing to ask questions. We got to be willing to open up our mouths and not be afraid to pose a question, because no question is a stupid question. Ask the question. Like the RICO method video that I released, asking the questions to your vendors. You don't know what they may have going on. I told you guys how I was on the line with my mom, and my mom asked the representative about a senior citizen discount for a credit card. Now, you know, where you know that happens? Nowhere. But what did the representative say? Here's what I'm going to do for you. Because my mother opened her mouth and asked a question, asking about a senior citizen discount for a credit card payment or charges. The representative on the other line said, here's what I'm going to do to you. She backed out the interest. Backed out the interest. She said, I'm going to credit you for your interest. Stop playing. Ask questions. Consumed by failure. And this is something that can really hold us back big time, because we're focusing on the dropping the ball. Like I shared how I felt sad when I was like, dang, I know I dropped the ball and now I got to pay this big invoice and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And immediately I had to focus on what I was going to do. Not thinking about where I was, but what am I going to do now? What am I going to do next? When you focus on where you are, when you focus on your situation, wallowing in whatever your mess is inside of your situation, you are being consumed by failure. And that's not going to get you to your next step. That's not going to get you to your next place of where you want to be. Neglecting small costs. This was another one. What are the little things that we neglect? These small costs. Putting them to the side, not wanting to do anything about it. Small costs could be getting these 5-hour energy drinks every time you go to a 7-Eleven, picking up a coffee every day, neglecting the small costs. Those $5, $10 coffees can easily turn into $300 by the end of the month. 15, no daily goals. If you don't have any goals, you're holding yourself back from your millionaire status. Set goals every day. Set goals every day that's going to take you one step closer to your big goal. Prime example, Q Sky is taking her goals project by project. Look how long it took her to complete the first project. It was a process, multiple meetings, multiple thinking, multiple getting things in order. It took steps. But now that that one's done, she's ready for the next project, which is taking her one step closer to that end goal, that overall goal that she has for her financial life. So set your goals every day. Negative thinking. We already know about this. Negative thinking. Take it from Lisa Nichols. Pause on the negative. Play on the powerful. Pause on the negative. Play on the powerful. But in order for you to play on the powerful, you got to have something. You got to have a playlist to be able to circumvent that negative when it starts to play. Because if you don't have a power playlist, then you can't pause what's already playing. 17, if you don't have no assets, you are holding your millionaire status back. Assets. And you should know what those are because we went over the net worth statements. We did the 21-day financial fast. And one of the things Michelle Singletary had us do was list out all of our assets as well as all of our liabilities. And she even gave us categories. So focus again on your top line. The top line is your assets. The bottom line is those liabilities. Making excuses. Whew, how many times do we make excuses for stuff? No 70-30 rule. 70-30 rule is similar to a budgeting practice. So 19 kind of ties into number 5. No 70-30 rule, which is 70% of your income goes to spending, 30% goes to savings. Number 20, what's holding us back from our millionaire status is procrastination. What are we holding off? What are we putting off? Procrastination. So Divinity, I want to thank you for sharing this with me because this is powerful. But when she sent it and she was like, this is just what we was talking about, I was like, woo. The alignment just starts to come and starts to come and it starts to flow. So shout out to Divinity. What I'll probably do is I'll also put this on the community page if you all want to be able to have it as well. If you want to take a screenshot, or maybe if you were able to take a screenshot while I had it up, that's also good for you to do too. But if you want me to put it on a community page, I can put it on a community page as well. All right. Okay. Good night, Tracy Ann. Okay. So Tracy Ann probably had to leave. All right, Tracy Ann. Good night. Good night. Coach Ruth says, amen. Lisa Smiles is laughing and telling Sherry to have a good night. Okay. Sherry must have left too. All right. Good night, Sherry. Good night, Tracy Ann. Need budgeting tools recommended for beginners. My budget outline. Thank you so much, Acacia. Let's go. Tracy Ann says, good session tonight. I have to take off. I'll see you ladies later. Awesome. And she's also thanking Divinity. She took a screenshot. Awesome, Tracy Ann. Let's go. All right. This is a great list. Okay. All right. I'm not going to keep y'all longer by reading all of the comments. I'll go back and read through the chat once the video uploads. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. I know we went a little bit over, so forgive me. But this was great. Our reading assignment, let me tell you what we're going to be reading tomorrow. Reading assignment, we're starting with chapter 3. We are starting with chapter 3. So we're going to be reading from page 111 all the way to 120. And 120 is going to take us, for those of you who have the audio book, it's going to take us to Road to Distinction is Paved with Years of Sacrifice and Faith. So that's the subtitle that leads into page 120. So I guess if you get there, you could either listen to it if you want, or if you want to pause and hold off, you can, because the next subsection starts on page 122. And then that will be covering the following day. So it's up to you if you want to keep listening all the way through for Road to Distinction is Paved with Years of Sacrifice and Faith. That's what we're going to be reading through for tomorrow. And we're taking this 10 pages at a time. Get your copies of the book, invite other people into the room, into the space. And we're going to keep living abundantly, and we're going to keep thinking wealth, and we're going to keep focusing on our habits. Focusing on our habits, because that truly is what's going to help us transform once we've activated the space in our minds. Once we've gotten our mind unlocked, once we've gotten that aspect unlocked, then we need to focus on our execution, which is demonstrated through our habits. And then it'll be like clockwork. So let's make it a plan. Let's make it a recurring practice. Let's make it intentional. Let's make it a discipline. Let's make it a discipline. Okay. All right. I want to remind you that your financial prosperity awaits you, and so does your financial sanity. Y'all already know what I'm going to tell you to do, and that is what? Get to work. All right. Bye. See y'all tomorrow. The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melone. The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melone. The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melone. Hey, 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 let's go.